What's up everyone? So hopefully y'all have watched the first part of this video. This is the second part where I'm just going to kind of go over what it's like to use the different apps to control the Chromecast. I'm going to go over a lot of like the limitations and some of the cons of using this kind of a setup and kind of go over how to control everything. The first thing I want to show you guys here is in the Google Home app. So within the app, just like in the older one, the Google Cast app, you have these apps, and basically this just shows you the apps on your device that support your Google Chromecast, right? So if you click one of these, it's just going to launch the app, right? And then any of those supported apps are going to show, you're going to have an icon available right there. And so in Android systems, you can actually broadcast your entire phone audio. In any apps that are supported, you're going to have this, and this is where it shows you all the different Chromecasts or groups that you can cast to. So I'll show you those back in the actual Google Home app. So that's what becomes available with any app you're using. So, one of the good things is that since this is Google, it's pretty widely supported. A lot of apps are coming out and it's constantly being updated. So that's one of the benefits of going, with this kind of system. Obviously, if Google makes it, a lot of people are going to support it. So the meat of it here is in the devices section. Here's where we set up everything. So here's my house, and that's just a group I created. So, and then here are all the different Chromecasts I can cast to. So all you have to do, you can name these whatever you want, and then to create a group, you just click on that, name it whatever you want. Say I wanted to name this downstairs, and I wanted the basement and the garage to be in that group. I'll click save. So now once you have that grouped, it's going to show up in, let's say, for example, Spotify app down here. And so all you have to do is click it or find it. Where is it? Downstairs, right? And then you can start. Yeah. It takes a second, but well, let's let it connect first because copyright can't really play anything. Yeah. So that's how you create a group. Down here is where you're going to add a new device every time you add a Chromecast, and you just follow the on-screen steps. I'm not going to go through the whole setup process because it's pretty straightforward and didn't really have any issues. All right, so I did want to go over a couple of the other kind of smaller limitations, you might say. For one, in iOS devices, you can't control your tracks through the swipe up screen here. This only really works if you're listening through your headphones or using AirPlay, which can only cast to a single device. But if you're using Chromecasts, you actually have to go into the app to control the track, and that goes with the volume as well. So whatever particular app, in this case I'm using Spotify, you can see the control down there, and that controls the volume for the whole group or whatever Chromecast you're casting to. You can also individually change the volume of a group. So let's say you're having it, you're streaming music to house, and somebody upstairs doesn't want to hear it. Instead of going up there and having to turn the speaker off, I can say, go down to this individual speaker where the party speaker's upstairs in my bedroom. You can just tap that, and then you can just put the volume all the way down so it doesn't bother anybody upstairs. So it's nice within that Google Home app to be able to individually control the volume tracks. So one thing I did forget to mention is regarding the volume. If you're in the app you're going to use to stream a Chromecast to, so in this case Spotify, once you're actually in the app, you can control the volume with the volume rocker buttons. You just have to be in the app. So it's just something to kind of know about. The other thing to note is with Chromecast, the Chromecast currently now in the current firmware, it doesn't support gapless playback. So if you're kind of a stickler for having tracks seamlessly go into the next track, if you listen to full albums like that, it's going to have a second glitch. And I'll show you that right here between these two Kings of Leon's tracks. So hopefully that gives you an idea. So it's not a huge deal. I never really even noticed it until I read about it. Usually the gapless playback stuff I listen to is electronic, and it's all usually just mixed anyway. So, but something to know about. Not a deal breaker for me, but if you're a diehard gapless playback person, that could be a major drawback. I could show you a couple other apps. So like Tidal is one that's supported. So if you go into like again any app that supports the Chromecasts, you'll see here where see the Chromecast icon will be in the app, and then you just kind of select whatever device you want. So that is how it works. And you can see if you watched in part 1, a lot of apps support Chromecast. So if your app isn't already in there, I'm sure they're working on it. But if they're not, there is a workaround, and that's with using the Chrome browser. So I'm going to show you that next and some of the things you can do with that. So what I wanted to show you is how to stream using the Chrome browser. Hopefully you can see this okay. But here's a Chrome browser running, and I'm on digitally imported di.fm, which is the electronic station I listen to. And since their app doesn't support Chromecast natively on their phone app, if you have anything on the web that you want to stream to the Chromecasts, you can do that. So if you use the Spotify web player or any other kind of random music listening service you may have that you can get through your web browser but not your phone, you can still stream that all to the Chromecasts. So it's a real simple browser extension. It's just called Chromecast for Chrome. It puts an icon up here just like any of the other apps you might use on your phone, and then it has all your Chromecasts or your groups to be able to stream to. So all we do is we select one here, select home, and then as soon as we hit play, it will be streaming everywhere. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It works perfectly. And you can select individual Chromecasts, and you can also adjust the volume from the Chromecast app up here. All right. One other thing I wanted to mention is on like if you plan to stream, let's say YouTube or even Netflix, and stream the audio through to your Chromecast and think you're going to be watching it on some one of your devices or your computer. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work because there's some lag, so the video and audio gets out of sync, as you can see here. So you can see, unfortunately, it's just laggy. So you're not gonna be able to watch video using the Chromecast audio. At least it won't sync. So that's unfortunate. What I'd hope to do is watch music videos on a screen somewhere in the house, and then have the music playing from those music videos to all the speakers in the house. But it just doesn't really do that. So I pulled up a TV show here, Marvel's Luke Cage, and Netflix, and you can see where it just gets out of sync.
You should be out there helping people. That's all. Like them other fellas downtown. Ray used to say the same thing.
So you can see, it doesn't really work. So that's it really about as far as controlling the audios and using the apps, how everything works. The only issue I really had was using an older iOS device. So I had an older iPhone 4S sitting around. I wanted to use that as a remote for my music in the garage. But a lot of times it would have a lot of issues connecting sometimes. So clicking down the bottom and then clicking on one of the Chromecasts, it wouldn't never connect. I would click it and it would just say connecting on the bottom forever. So that is an issue. Just a fair warning, if you plan to use the older iOS device you have laying around, you might have some issues with it. At least I did. So if you're looking to do a whole house audio system, I definitely recommend going with the Chromecast if you're on a budget or can't really quite swing the Sonos. There's really not too many drawbacks besides having to go into the music app to control, like I say, your volume and your track controls. It doesn't really support gapless playback. But other than that, not really too many issues. I mean, it syncs perfectly. There's not really any setup problems. It handles the handshake between devices, like when I'm using my phone and then I go to use my laptop to play music through one of the Chromecasts, it will just take over. So all the exchanges happen flawlessly. I never experienced any issues. So that's really a big deal. Also, the sound quality on them is really good. It supports multiple connections, analog, digital. At 1/10 the cost of a Sonos system, with the Sonos, you have to buy a $200, $300, or $400 speaker or amp, whatever kind of unit you're getting. And assuming you already have devices that you can hook up the Chromecast to, I mean, it's a tenth the cost, so they're only $35. So I think that's a pretty good deal to hook up every additional room. But yeah, hopefully I answered all your questions. If not, just leave me a comment below. Thanks a lot for watching. You guys take care.
Yeah.